Hello, everybody from Germany. Hello to all attendees to the World Hydrogen Energy Summit in New Delhi. I'm very sorry that I couldn't make it in person to Delhi this year. So I planned to come to Delhi to this very exciting conference, but at the end I had some turbulences, and this is why I sent this keynote via video now to you. Yes, we have exciting times, and the topic of this annual conference is net zero, pathways to net zero, and for sure hydrogen will play an exciting and crucial role in this journey to net zero all over the world. And I'm speaking to you today in my function as Hydrogen Executive Advisor to thyssenkrupp board. So you know maybe thyssenkrupp as one of the biggest steel maker companies in the world. Also in Europe, we have a very, very big steel plant in Duisburg producing 12 million tons of steel and also 20 million tons of CO2 emissions a year. And there was a decision now, first of the German government, the federal government in Germany, to hold the steel industry in Germany and to produce green steel. So there's a big of public subsidies for a direct reduction plan, not only with our company, thyssenkrupp Steel, but also for another big steel maker in Germany, Salzgitter. So there's a funding of about 2 billion euros for our company and also for the other companies to produce at least high quality steel in the future still in Germany. What are we doing in Duisburg? We started to build our direct reduction plant to replace one of our 4 blast furnaces by a direct reduction plant to produce at least a quarter of our annual production, what means around 2.5 million tons of steel as green steel, beginning of 27. So then the plant should be finished. And what does it mean? It means that we need 150,000 tons of green hydrogen as a gas at our plant site in Duisburg, which is around 60, 70 kilometers away from the port of Rotterdam. So, and now we have the challenges. It's a very concrete now. So we don't talk about all these announced gigas projects all over the world. We have a concrete demand we have to secure now for 27. And what does it mean? We need infrastructure. So as we will see most of the hydrogen in the next, let me say 5 years as ammonia, because we don't have infrastructure to ship hydrogen as a gas. There are no ships at the moment. So one ship will cost around 260, 270, 280 million euros, and they have to be constructed, they have to be built. So we have to use existing ammonia infrastructure, ammonia ships, ammonia harbors to bring the green energy, the green molecules from all over the world to Europe. And that will be, for the moment, for the next years, not by pipelines. We are also trying to build pipelines. We talk about corridors in Europe. We talk about the corridor from the northern part of Africa, from the MENA states, also maybe Mauritania or via Spain. We talk about the pipeline from Algeria or maybe Tunisia to southern Europe, Italy. We talk about northern pipelines from Balticum, from Sweden, from Finland. We talk about the northern pipeline from Norway. But all these pipelines will need time to build, have complicated mechanisms for government approval and so on. So it will take time. So, and in the meanwhile, we will have to import all this hydrogen as ammonia to our harbors, especially in the northwestern part of Europe. So Rotterdam, maybe Antwerp, maybe Hamburg in Germany. So, and what is the challenge then? We will see the ammonia, but we don't have the gas so far. So that's why we have to talk about cracking, to crack out the hydrogen out of the ammonia as a gas, and therefore we need all these cracker plants. Even these are not existing so far. There are a few companies planning to build. They say they have technologies, their products, for example, also Danish company, and also thyssenkrupp Uhde, one of our other companies. They're building big methanol and ammonia plants. They also say they have technology to build these crackers, but at the moment we don't have these crackers. So we have smaller crackers, but we don't have the large-scale crackers we need in these ports, in the port of Rotterdam, in the port of Wilhelmshaven, in the port of Antwerp, to crack the hydrogen as a gas out of the ammonia. So that is the next challenge. And then we have to have a pipeline. We have to have a pipeline from the port sites to the plants, to the steel plant, but also to other plants, to cement plants, using hydrogen to reduce CO2 emissions at their plants, cement plants, aluminium plants, glass producers, and so on and so on. This is a big challenge. We have to build a pipeline infrastructure all over Europe, not only to the facilities close to the harbors, ports, but also all over Europe. So we have Central Europe states like Austria, like the Czech Republic, like the southern part of Germany, where it's not that easy to bring a hydrogen pipeline, which is very costly. And that is why we have to discuss now, quite frankly, quite open, who will finance this pipeline infrastructure all over Europe. We talk about a hydrogen backbone system. The plans are starting now and going until 2045, 2050 for sure. But to reach net zero quite early, and in Germany we want to reach net zero in 2045, we need to build this infrastructure now, and these will need a lot of public funding as well. So that is a challenge. For sure, we have to develop the technologies. We have the technology now in the steel making for direct reduction plants. You know, we have already running a lot of plants worldwide running by gas instead of coal. So that means already a reduction of around 50% of CO2 emissions. But now the challenge is to use hydrogen and to come really near to zero emissions. The figures are the problem. The figures we are talking about. So what means 150,000 tons of green hydrogen as a gas per year? It means 1.5 gigawatt of electrolyzer. Only for reducing these, for producing green steel in Duisburg, 1/4 of our production facility, 1.5 gigawatt of electrolyzer capacity, and maybe up to 3 gigawatt of renewable energy. So, and that is the real challenge. Besides of the infrastructure, we need electrolyzer infrastructure. We need electrolyzers at the site. We need a global ramp up of electrolyzer industries. So the other company of thyssenkrupp, besides the steel making and Uhde, I already talked about for ammonia plants, is an electrolyzer company. We are building the biggest electrolyzers in the world right now. So we are part of the NEOM project together with our products. We are building these 2 gigawatt electrolyzer in the NEOM project in Saudi Arabia. We are part of a 200 megawatt electrolyzer for Rotterdam with Shell. And we are also a part of the green age steel project in Sweden for a 700 megawatt electrolyzer. But this is really forces our company, because our annual production capacity at the moment is around 1 gigawatt. And that's why we have to scale up, like all the other companies, quite fast. And we will need all technologies. So, you know, we are with thyssenkrupp nucera, we are building alkalic electrolyzers, but we have the PEM electrolyzers, we have the high temperature electrolyzers, different technologies. And at the moment, nobody knows exactly where the journey will go on. So we have some problems with the PEM electrolyzers with iridium. So we need a lot of iridium. It's very costly at the moment. So at the moment, for sure, the alkalic water electrolysis is ahead. It's a major technology, but it's working. So NEOM, for example, will be built with these alkalic water electrolysis. So, but the challenge is really to serve to all these global projects announced now, and to have a really fast ramp up to produce these big amounts of green molecules of green hydrogen we need all over the world. So that is another challenge, and we need also here some public funding for the ramp up. That's what we're talking about in Europe, what we're talking about in Germany, about the electrolyzer ramp up program. Also in Europe, we want to produce up to 40% of our demand in Europe itself, so we won't be dependent on countries like China. You may know at the moment more than 50% of the worldwide production of electrolyzers is in China. So that is why we also, like India, by the way, looking for our own strong production facilities. And coming back to Europe, what is the plan of Europe? You may have heard the plan of Europe is to produce 10 million tons of green hydrogen in 2030 and also to import 10 million tons of green hydrogen in 2030. And what does it mean? 10 million tons local production in Europe and also import means together 200 gigawatt of electrolyzers. At the moment, we have a worldwide capacity of 5 gigawatt, maybe 5 to 6 gigawatt, besides of China, maybe another 5 gigawatt there. But you see the gap between now, maybe 5 gigawatt in Europe and then 100 gigawatt in Europe in 2030, what means in 6 years, and another 100 gigawatt for the import, and it's only talking about Europe. So it is a really, really big challenge globally, and that's why I always say, think big and act fast. We need also smaller presentation demo projects, 10 megawatt, 20 megawatt for sure, but now we have really to start to produce hydrogen in a big scale, and we need the infrastructures in a big scale, and we need the ships, we need ammonia ships, we need ammonia ports. And that is when I come to India now, very interesting, because India, most of the ports in India are ammonia ready. They have ammonia storage facilities, they have ammonia port facilities to ship ammonia for the export. And that's a big also opportunity for India to produce green molecules for the export to Europe, for example. On the other hand, and that will also be for sure a topic of this conference, you need a lot of green hydrogen and green molecules, also electricity, renewable energy, for the decarbonization of your own country. So India is one of the biggest CO2 emitters in the world. So for sure, there's a lot to do in India itself to use green molecules produced by renewable energy to decarbonize the Indian industry and to help India to contribute to net zero goals globally. So, but also a lot of possibilities and opportunities for India as a manufacturing country. So a lot of good skilled people, a good workforce, and cheap production costs, very good engineering in India. And that is a big market also for example, electrolyzer companies producing their electrolyzers in India, for example, for the Asian market, but also for Australian market, for example. So here we have a lot also of space for good cooperation between Germany, by the way, and India in all these technologies. You have a lot of very good universities, so there's a lot of cooperation already going on. And so I'm very confident that India will play a very significant role in the global hydrogen market over the next decades. And that is what we should work together. German companies, Indian companies, the German government with the Indian government. You know, there was a visit and a meeting of our Chancellor Scholz with your Prime Minister Modi, and there was also an agreement about cooperation in hydrogen, and that is really a very, very good opportunity for both countries and will strengthen the global hydrogen economy. So let me finish with these thoughts, with a more global thoughts about hydrogen economy, what is needed in infrastructure, what is needed also in cooperation, and what are the opportunities for this wonderful country of India with the speed development and such a big commitment in the last year during this G20 presidency of India for a global hydrogen economy. And you did a lot of steps in the last months, and now it's really the time to went out of fossil industries, to put all power and to put all efforts on a green economy and a green hydrogen economy. And I wish you, I wish the Indian country, I wish all the companies, also participating in this conference. All the best for this journey. Look at opportunities, and India is a strong country, and together with countries like Germany, other European countries, we will move the world. Thank you for your attention and all the best for this conference.